Having a blast on the Ben Armstrong Show. Loving that you're out in the audience. The phone number to get in live on this call-in talk show, 1-800-923-9385. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with Barack Obama, and in fact, some people are viewing him as a Messiah-type-like figure, and even some national talk show hosts, like ones that you hear on the station, Bill Bennett, talk about his mix of religion and innuendos about him being almost Messiah-like and politics. It's strange. I want to play you a cut from Bill Bennett. This is cut 3. Go ahead and play that, Brian.
It's a mixture of religion and politics. And some people are getting uneasy with Barack Obama in this regard. We are the hope of the future, says Obama. We can remake the world as it should be. And then we can become a hymn that will heal this nation, repair this world, and make this time different than all the rest. This is a little odd for political discourse, is it not?
A little odd.
And if it was going on the conservative or Republican side, we'd be hearing about it a lot, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'd be hearing a lot about it. Let me play you Michelle Obama now, and how Barack sounds like he's going to be a dictator the way she describes him here, because she says he's going to inspire us to work. This is a strange cut. This is cut 9. It's Michelle Obama. Go ahead and play that.
And Barack Obama will require you to work. He is going to demand that you shed your cynicism, that you put down your division, that you come out of your isolation, that you move out of your comfort zones, that you push yourselves to be better, and that you engage. Barack will never allow you to go back to your lives as usual, uninvolved, uninformed.
Is that not scary, folks? I mean, this is amazing. Pamela, I want to get you in on this. Pamela Geller is my guest. She's from Atlas Shrugs. And go ahead and make a comment about that last cut you just heard of Michelle Obama.
Well, first of all, let me say one thing. The man is not selling hope. The man is selling despair. That's the message. That's his hidden message. He's not a candidate of positive. He's a candidate of negative. Everything is bad and it's hopeless, and it's really the audacity of let us exalt in failure and let us demonize success. In every line, it is a socialist, it is a Marxist. He has ties to radical Marxists. I'm sure you've seen the piece where he met with 60s radicals. I mean, everything this man says runs counter to the great American experiment. And as I said before, remember, Michelle Obama was his mentor. Michelle Obama, she is the boss. And if I may say one other thing,
Sure.
if I may, about why the Muslim aspect of this is so disturbing. They are exultant with joy in the Arab world. You see, from their point of view, as I said before, because the father is a Muslim, he is a Muslim. And Michael Totten wrote on his blog how a friend of his is in Qatar, and they were saying about a young relative who was so excited that the candidate was named Hussein. They're trying to send money. They try and donate money, but you can't take foreign contributions. Now, in America, no one's talking about it, but it is the rage. Everyone is talking about it in the Arab world, that someone with the name Hussein could be elected president is not lost on them. It is a triumph.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that Barack Obama used to go by the name Barry, especially through high school and up into college, and then he read a Malcolm X book, who was inspired by the Nation of Islam, and decided to go by his birth name, Barack. A lot of people don't know that. I want to get some phone calls in here. Let's go to Mike in Troy. Welcome to the Ben Armstrong Show.
Pamela, Ben, thank you for having the courage to tackle this in the way that I hope the rest of the media will soon find the courage and follow your lead. I guess my question for you is, when I hear comments like Barack just made and also the one that his wife just made, that we will remake the world the way it should be, and also when Michelle says Barack will not let you go back to your lives as usual, I am hearing, Muslims believe that the world, it's not that it should be subject to Islamic law, it will be. Those who take the Quran seriously. Notice I didn't say radical Muslims, I said Muslims, practicing Muslims, even moderate ones, believe. The difference, obviously, is how that will come about. What are the chances that exactly what we've just heard from them is true, that Barack Obama is, in fact, a method by which radical Islam will indeed infiltrate tried to remake the U.S. and therefore the West into an Islamic-controlled nation?
Well, listen, I think the biggest problem for this country right now, and what worries me the most, and this is all I do day in, day out, year in, year out. I'm not so afraid of Islamic terror. I'm not, even though I think we got to take out the nukes in Iran, but that's for another day. What worries me is creeping Sharia. And it's not even creeping, it's almost a tsunami. Where is Obama going to be on, let's say, Muslim footbaths in the airports and in the schools? Where is he going to be on that? Obama is the candidate of the Council of Islamic Relations, the unindicted co-conspirator, Hamas sympathizer. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, where's Obama going to be? We've been infiltrated at the highest levels. That specialist, that jihad specialist at the Pentagon, who was summarily fired by Hashem Islam, who had questionable ties on his own, and then, of course, it was the blogs that brought that out, and then everybody was called to task, and they had to take down Heshi, as we like to call him on the blogs, Heshi Islam's page on the Pentagon's website because it was full of lies. I was there when Israel invaded Cairo. Hello, Israel never invaded Cairo. We've been infiltrated at the highest levels. It's frightening. So this would be the epitome of infiltration, wouldn't it?
It seems so. It seems like he has a free pass that I just can't get over, because no matter how much I try to push this and how much I try to tell people that he has ties to Islam, I don't care if he's a practicing Muslim or not. He has relatives, he has ties to Islam, he has Nation of Islam members that work in his campaign, and people don't realize that when you elect a president, you're not just electing a president, you're electing cabinet members. And those people who are working for the cabinet appoint people underneath them. So there's thousands of people that come in to work for the president, and if he has Islamic ties and has people in the Nation of Islam working in his campaign, how many of those people are going to be appointed to prominent positions, or at least have influence to people that are in those prominent roles?
Well, let me tell you something. You just brought up a very important point that I didn't have a chance to get to, but let's talk about his foreign policy advisors. They're all pro-Islamic. You have Malley and Powers, Samantha Powers and Susan Rice. These people are anti-Israel. Malley espouses recognizing Hamas, Hezbollah. These people are, some of them are old, Carter, Clintonistas. But let's be honest, we wouldn't be in the hot water we're in now if it weren't for Carter. If Carter just backed our guy, the Shah, back in '79, it all started there. The whole thing between that and Afghanistan, it would have been, if you had someone like Reagan, and do you think Reagan would have abandoned the Shah?
I just don't understand. I have a question for you about
the
Jewish...
So a bad president can affect you not for 4 years, sir. A bad president can affect you for decades. It's huge.
Yeah, you're right. And why is it that the Jewish community isn't really pushing to look into this? I understand that they vote Democratic for the most part, but just blindly. But
I will tell you why. I will tell you why, sir. Because it's not a religious issue. It is not. Listen, if 80% of the Jewish people vote Democrat, you know it's not a religious issue. You know it's an ideological issue.
Sure.
It's left versus right. And the left, they don't think. They feel. The fact that 100 million people were murdered outside of war, were murdered under communism outside of war, 100 million people, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. They love the idea. They hate people. They love ideas. They hate people. They're still returning to the socialist ideas. They're still returning to the communists. Just once, can we try capitalism? Even in America, we live in a semi-capitalistic society. Just one time in human history, can we try capitalism once? Because it is the most benevolent. It is the most logical human system we could live under. But no, we keep returning to that terrible, awful, let's live for the sake of another man. I will never live for the sake of another man, and I will go down, I will die fighting for my right to live, in my rational self-interest, which, by the way, was the premise of America, the individual.
Her name is Pamela Geller. She has been my guest. Her website is Atlas Shrugs, so go in and check it out. You'll get a lot of information there. Again, that's Atlas Shrugs. My guest, again, Pamela Geller. Pamela, thanks so much for joining me on the Ben Armstrong Show.
Loved it. Thank you.
You have a great day.